Welcome everybody back to episode 10 of On the Wild. We have a very special guest with us today, Alyssa Morrison, coming from Westminster, Maryland. Alyssa, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Great, thank you.
Chilling.
Yeah, so tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Where to start? No, I met Riley and Anush through school. So I go to Ryerson University. We're all in our second year of sport media. Aside from school full time, I am a graphic designer for a junior hockey team called the New Jersey 87s. I do a little YouTube on the side, social media on the other side. So all around, I just do a lot of digital content creation, and yeah, that's kind of me.
Yeah, and so we did meet Alyssa at Ryerson doing sport media. She's finishing out the semester, but you will be switching to Florida, University of Florida.
Gator.
Coming
Gator
next
Nation.
semester.
Yep.
So how did that journey come about?
Well, I think I got to a point at Ryerson where I felt like I kind of got everything out of it that I needed to. Obviously, no one goes into your first or second year of college looking to transfer. I think you're always expecting to finish out your 4 years at the same school. But for me, I just lost my passion, and we're in such a niche program that I wanted to make sure that I was doing the right thing for my future and taking the best step forward in the sense that I could do really whatever I want in my life. And I felt like at sport media, I mean, you guys know, we have kids in our program that are already established in the industry, already working for really high up companies. And that kind of made me think about, like, is that really what I want to do? And I really still don't know what I want to do. And I want to make sure that I'm putting myself in a position where I have the option to make whatever decision I need to. So I'm going to be transferring into the telecommunications program at UF. So hopefully I can have a more general education and go from there.
Yeah, and I mean, Florida's an amazing place to live. That'll be really cool for your YouTube channel and how you travel across Florida and whatever. How did the YouTube channel come about? Like, how did that kind of start?
I grew up watching YouTubers. I watched like Bethany Moda, Lord DIY, so that was like who raised me. But I always had like a little iPod and wanted to film myself, and I pretended like I was them. So I would do like little hauls and makeup tutorials and all that stuff. And now I'm at the point where this is like kind of the industry that I'm in, is doing media. And I finally built up the courage to start the YouTube channel. But the main purpose behind it was when I moved to Toronto, actually. Maryland to Toronto, it's probably like a 10-hour drive. My parents, I wanted to show them what was going on and, all the adventures I was having at school. Now that I'm at home and I live with my parents, I'm trying to share my experiences and my knowledge with the rest of the world. I've kind of built like a really cool community where it's not even just like followers. It's like we all talk to each other, and I try and answer everyone if they have any questions. And I've made some really amazing friends through YouTube. So it came about really humbly, but now I'm just doing it for fun.
That's sick. And one of the things like I noticed like over time is you become a very empowering figure, and like with women and their bodies and their self-worth and stuff like that, and just people in general as well. Have you always been someone that likes to empower people? I know you've done it a lot through social media, or has that come about recently?
I definitely think, I am truly a believer that regardless of numbers, like you could have 10 followers, you could have 10,000 followers, you're still going to have an impact on the people that are following you in your audience. So I've always kind of had that mindset of like, whatever I put out there is going to be seen by other people. So I think ever since I've started social media, I've tried to make my platform very positive and a very uplifting environment for people. I think now that I've grown my platform into like TikTok and YouTube and Twitter and all of those things, now more than ever, I kind of realize that my voice does matter. Everyone's voices matter. Everyone that has social media or not. But definitely for me, it's been super important to help other people realize that there's more to this life than just waking up, doing work, going to school, going to bed, and that's it. So that's kind of been my main thing. Have I always been like that? Probably not. I would like to say I was always like that. I think that just comes with experience and time, but also I've built up my confidence so much in the last few years that I finally feel comfortable putting myself out there like that. So that was a long answer to your short question, but no, I've not always been like that. But now that I realize and recognize the platform that I do have, I really try and promote just positive energy all around.
Yeah, I've really noticed that with all your videos. You know, I'm a loyal viewer, and and I see like there's always a positive message with every single episode. Or every video, sorry.
Thank you.
And what really stands out to me is the production quality. Like your quality is actually fire.
It's really good.
Thank you. That's what we're paying for, isn't it?
Yeah. Like it's like when I'll walk into my sister's room at night and like she'll just be watching like YouTube on her TV, and it like when I see your videos, it's the exact same as the girls that have like millions of subscribers. So I can totally see like in the future it's obviously going to build up even more.
No way. Thank you.
Like you're really entertaining to watch. But the one thing you were talking about, like you're a very extroverted person, would you say?
Would you say? I
would
think
say
so, right?
Like,
I'd say so.
Like me and Anuj are pretty introverted in terms of when we're in public. I don't know if it's social anxiety or whatever, but we're not like as outgoing to newer people. Yeah. But when we're in a comfortable environment, we can, dish and talk the normal way. But when you're with new people,
when I'm comfortable, I don't shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like with new people, it's kind of harder. Like with us and how we met, like we were in sound production together, right? And I don't even think we sat next to each other, and I don't think we talked the first 2 classes.
Yeah, no, I don't think we did either. And I think, I mean, everyone was kind of really nervous. I talked about this a little bit on my channel, a little bit on other people's podcasts, but like, I don't think people realize like sport media at Ryerson is no joke. Like it is prestigious. It's hard to get into. It's hard to stay in because you have to do so much work, and not necessarily like difficult work in the sense that like we have to do all this math and science, but it's a lot of like work, like physical work, like staying up late, finishing projects, meeting deadlines. Like it's no joke. And I think at that point in our university career, we were all still very intimidated. Like I don't think anyone really had a certain friend group at that time. But I knew we were going to be friends. Like, that was, like, a given because you're so down to earth. And, I mean, Anush, I kind of met you through Riley.
Yeah.
But we really started talking in multicam. Is that what the class was
Yeah, because I actually remember we were doing, like, rotations. And we were in the same, like, group.
Yes.
And I think we were doing, like, producing and directing and all that. And we were kind of just, like, doing everything together. And that's when I really met you. Yes. And you really brought me on my show. Like, you, like, were very outgoing and you were very welcoming.
That's one of the things I was leading to is, like, her being kind of more you may not even be extroverted, but more extroverted in terms of us.
Yeah.
But you kind of, like, were the one talking to me in sound production and asking about me and what I enjoy. So that kind of,
same
just
with me.
like me, like, I came out of my shell there. And then we would, talk in class all the time. We'd talk with Jack, who was sitting to my left as well. Yeah. But it was multicam that we became friends because we actually worked together we were filming you, I think, because you're a cheerleader at Ryerson. We were filming your day in the life of cheerleader and being in sport media as well.
Yes. So, oh my gosh, you bring back so many memories, and it's so weird to think about how we're not in person anymore. Like that
it feels like it was so long ago.
Yeah.
So long ago. But yeah, so I think, I mean, I'm not really close with anyone in sport media. Like, I don't have a tight-knit friend group, and I know there are, like, little cliques here and there, but I think definitely Riley and for sure Anush, like, I have so much respect for you guys. You work so hard, and I love this podcast so much, but also, like, you're just so down to earth, and I think a lot of people can get that message from your podcast because you guys are so down to earth. So, yeah, we all came from humble roots.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure.
So I know it's your guys' podcast and I'm the guest, but Riley and I had this conversation on FaceTime like a few days ago, and I wanted to bring it up during the podcast episode. So this past weekend, I was in Philly covering a hockey tournament. And I had like this crazy realization of like who I was when I was like 15, 16 to now. I'm now 20. And one of the main things I would look forward to going to hockey tournaments with my brother is like looking up the roster or like going to their elite prospects page and like looking up all the guys. And I mean, nothing would come out of it because I didn't have enough confidence or balls to like actually follow through. But I just wanted to ask you guys, did you know that girls do that like at your games? And don't say they don't, because they do. There's girls.
I didn't know they did it to that extent.
Yeah, I never played hockey, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, even
like,
football, like I would do the same thing for football.
Yeah, like for football in high school and like me playing hockey, like girls would always come to the games. And you'd be like, you'd walk out of the change room after the game, and there'd be like 6 girls in the lobby. They might not be there for you, but like sometimes they would be, and you'd be like, oh, hey, like, what's up? But like, never to that extent that I know of. I don't think we had like elite prospects. I wasn't that good of a hockey player, but
I never thought about it because I was just like was focused on the game itself.
Yeah, true.
So I didn't really think about anything
Yeah,
else.
I was so like tunnel vision into the game, but at the same time, like in elementary school, like if you played rep hockey, you had a bit of street cred. Like
you were the guy.
Yeah, you were valid because you played
We're
rep
from
hockey.
Oakville. If you had an Oakville Rangers jacket, you were the
Yeah, you were cool.
You were the guy.
You were cool.
Yeah.
High school, like it changed a bit because everyone like grew up a bit, but like in elementary school, like you were sick. I remember like because I played house league for a little while, and I'd like watch the kids with Rangers jackets, be like, I want to be them so bad.
No, so that's the thing is like you guys are saying you're so focused on the game that it literally doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. I would have girlfriends that would ask to come to my brother's hockey games with me. My brother and I were only 16 months apart. So really the age gap was so small that it was like, screw it. Like, why not? And my friends would come to his games like with me. And then we would like be scouting, but not for like a college team. We'd be scouting for our relationship. And it never ended up like falling through, like I said, but I just thought that was so interesting because when you think about, you know, girls versus guys, a lot of the times my girlfriends were all like, guys are stupid. They don't understand what's going on. But it's not even that. Like, you just are so oblivious to the fact that that's what's happening. You know what I mean?
It's one being oblivious because we're focused on the game, but I will say, like, from experience, I was an idiot as a little kid. Like, I did not pick up on any signs. I did not know the difference between flirting and just a regular conversation when I was like 12 or 13.
I know all about it.
Yeah, like if I was me now back then, I'd be like, oh my gosh, how did I not understand that? Like, what?
Exactly, yeah.
But
I would be
but it
so
might be like, do you think it's also
frustrated
like, sorry?
Like, I would be so frustrated with it because at the time, like, you're like, I'm doing all this work. I have all their names printed out. I have their stats from 5 years ago. Like, I have all this information and it feels like so much work. And I'm like, how are they still not noticing me? I requested to follow their Instagram like 5 months ago. I'm still in the request box, like all these things. But I guess you guys just don't think about that.
Well, I'm curious about the Instagram thing too. Like, if a girl follows you on Instagram or follows you back, is that your way of saying like, yeah, I'm into you? Not like into you, but like you're attractive?
So,
because I've heard other girls say that. Like, guys, like they have to DM to make it clear, but girls are like, when I followed you, that was the sign.
So here's the thing, guys. Disclaimer, I do have a boyfriend now. So this is pre-taken Alyssa. This is single Alyssa. Yeah, and it sounds so dumb to say like a little follow request, especially if you're private. You know, like the guy will see it if they're private, because sometimes when they're public it just like, you know, goes down the drain. But when it's private and then they request you back, I mean, you're basically on your second date at this point, because it means so much.
So the DMs are open if I get a follow from a girl.
Well,
is that what you're saying?
Respectfully.
Yeah, respectfully. I would never.
I would definitely say like, I would. Do you guys cuss on this? I would shit bricks if I followed you and then you followed me back and then DM'd me. Like, any guy that I would have done that to, I would have gone insane. Like, my plan worked. That never happened, so I can't say that it works in my favor. But I know a bunch of girls, that's what they do. And like, literally, you know how guys, this is kind of going off topic, but you know, I don't know if you guys do this, if guys will like like a bunch of pictures in a row, like nonstop, even if they're from like a while ago, that's also a sign that they're into you.
I don't do that.
I don't do that. I feel like that's really weird. I'm like, if you're ever stalking someone's Instagram and you accidentally like an old photo, it's like immediate panic.
Yeah.
It's like do
jail
I
time,
unlike
I'm
it or do
screwed.
I just let it be?
No, yeah, like that's also a huge thing too. Like these are, I'm giving you the inside scoop of what girls are looking for. But also this is me like a while ago. If I was single now, I think it would definitely be more like I'm expecting myself to make the first move. Like if I found someone attractive, I would probably slide in the DM first. Like with Garrett, my current boyfriend, shout out Garrett, I love you so much. We met like a while ago through mutual friends because he was on the baseball team at another school. My friends were on the baseball team at my school. They played all those things. But eventually it came down to we had our first date and I was literally like, okay, so are we dating or is this just worthless? Because if it's worth it, I'm going home. Like you paid for my dinner. Now we're going home or we're staying together forever. Like that's the option. And it sounds crazy, but I knew what I wanted at that time. And I think that just comes with confidence. But for guys, I think if you feel the same way about someone, that's such a power move. Like that shows like you have confidence. You are sexy if you are able to do that and follow through.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. One thing I wanted to talk about, because like you brought up the sports thing and we were talking about Canada versus America. How different is like American high school football compared to Canada? Because like
crazy.
As outsiders,
so
we
crazy.
watch it like it's this huge thing, but high school football here is like it's
They have
exciting, but like
stadiums.
yeah, you have stadiums, we have like little bleachers.
Yeah. It's a big deal. Friday Night Lights, like that is a thing. Every week we would have a themed game. Homecoming, forget about it. Like stadium is packed. I live in a small town, or I come from a small town. My high school is pretty small. We still had so many people show up every single Friday night in the rain, in the snow, like everything. And it's a big deal. The camaraderie that comes between schools, it's actually insane. And it honestly makes me sad for you guys that you don't get to experience it. But I think you guys kind of do, right? With like hockey and your games, because I mean, that's kind of what I've heard is like hockey is the equivalent to like football, I guess.
Yeah.
It pissed me off because I would like I played 3 years of high school football. I played grade 9, 10, and 11.
Yeah.
Grade 12 is when we had Friday Night Lights games.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I wasn't even there for it. So
Wasn't that the year they won too? Oh no, you were
No,
there.
I was there when they won.
Yeah,
I was there when
right.
they won. But like grade 12 was when they got the Nike jerseys, the
Yeah.
Friday Night Lights games, they got to travel. I was like, all right.
So that's the
Yeah,
thing too, is there's so much investment that goes into this. Like I think the uniforms were like Under Armour, and you know they would have practices. Like I got to film a video for them like my senior year. I mean, I'm getting up at the crack ass of dawn to film these players doing like NFL drills. Like I'm not even kidding. It was insane.
Damn.
And the fact that they treat it like that, like that's why it attracted so much attention, is because they literally treated it like it was a big deal. And one of my close friends, his name's Jacob Busick, he now plays football for Navy. And I really like, he was talking, I interviewed him earlier for like one of our sports journalism classes, and he was talking about like high school football was the peak of his, I mean, football career. Like even though he's in, you know, college playing D1 now, like the friendships you make during that time is just so special. And for me, covering it and making videos every Friday night, I loved watching it, and that's what I wanted to do. Like I think that was a really big part in why I'm in sport media and I want to be in the industry, is because I got to witness it firsthand with football, and I love the idea of it. But you know, there are some people that are like they invest too much in the sports and not enough in like the arts or whatever. But I love Friday Night Lights. Like if you ask me if I miss high school, no, but I do miss that aspect of it a lot.
Yeah. And I think another thing is because in America, right, it's high school teams. Like Garrett, I know Garrett plays baseball. His baseball team is the high school team, right? Or was?
Yeah. So when he was on the baseball team, they actually won states. So they won state championship for Maryland. And that was insane in itself too, because they're playing in this huge stadium. I forget where it was, but for for states for football, I think they play where the Ravens play. So it's a big deal.
Imagine that.
And
yeah,
like getting to that point is such a big deal in the sense that like players will transfer schools for certain teams. Like it wasn't even looked at as a school anymore because we all knew we were getting the education anyway. So it was like, where do you want to place your sport and how far are you willing to go for that? I mean, I know people who have transferred for the football team and for the lacrosse team. In Maryland, lacrosse is huge. And I know so many people that have transferred. They actually, because of my school, they had to make a rule where you could only transfer like X amount of years, like out of your senior year. And then the year after you transfer, you cannot play a varsity sport because they wanted to prevent you from like literally changing schools for your career, like your, sports career.
We had stuff like that for different reasons. Like for hockey, when we got to the varsity level, grade 11 and 12, if you played rep hockey, you couldn't play high school hockey. So that's like the biggest thing between Canada and America. Like you guys have just high school sports. Me, like I'm playing baseball and hockey with the school, but in the like actual seasons, I'm playing for the rep teams in the town. So like when we'd have like 4 or 5 baseball tournaments. Like I played in Mississauga for baseball. We'd go down to like Indianapolis, New York. We'd be playing teams that have been training together for 4 years because they were in high school, and they like during the wintertime in high school, they'd book out like facilities and practice, and we'd be like a month into the season and we'd get like absolutely ripped. But like it'd be cool if we had our teams were high school teams. We'd have way bigger audiences.
Oh yeah,
because that'd be like the show in the town.
Definitely.
Right,
We were
yeah.
talking about the Ravens Stadium. I'm like,
Yeah.
I thought playing at McMaster was a big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
No, like that's the thing too, is like same here in America. If you're really serious about a sport, you're gonna, sacrifice it. Like my brother, he plays junior hockey in Boston. That was a lot. And in Maryland, like hockey's really not that big of a deal. When the Caps won the Stanley Cup, that's kind of when the attraction around hockey started growing in the DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia. But even at that, it's like you still kind of want to play a high school sport. For me, I never did cheer in high school. I always stuck to all-star cheer. And that was a choice that I had to make. And it was really hard because you want to cheer on your football team for Friday Night Lights and all those little perks, wearing your uniform to school. But for me, there was like other external factors that were playing into that decision. So I think depending on the sport, of course, in Maryland, like lacrosse, you're playing high school lacrosse and you're going to go D1. Like that's kind of how that works. But for football and like other sports, you just kind of have to play it by ear, what's going to be best for you. So I think in America, there's definitely that choice that you can have. But in Canada, like you're saying, you kind of have to go club and do it by yourself, not through your high school.
Right.
It's
weird, yeah. Like we'd watch TV shows and be like, "This is so unrealistic," but that's
Literally
true.
how
Like
it
that's
is.
America.
That's how
Like
it is.
it's different. Well, I'm curious. Like coming to Canada, was it your first time coming to Canada when you came for Ryerson?
So no, actually a few years before that, my brother had a tournament. He's still in Pee Wees at that point, in like right outside of Toronto, probably like the Mississauga area. I mean, I'm not like entirely sure, but like near that area. And we took a trip to Toronto downtown, and I fell in love with it. Like the idea of this huge city life, and it felt luxurious, but it also felt humble, but it also felt like this brand new thing that I've never seen before. So that was my first interaction, I guess, with the city. And then, okay, this is like a side story, I guess, but there's this music artist. Her name's Kira Isabella, and she's a country singer in Canada. I entered her contest. I thought I was just getting a free shirt. It was actually a meet and greet in Toronto.
Oh,
So, and I won it. And so at that point, then we went to Toronto again. And then I made a trip out of it, like visiting my schools. So while I was up there, I visited U of T, Ryerson. And then my third choice was Michigan State. So we kind of did that little trip. And then I think like the third or fourth time, that was when I moved in. So I wasn't really familiar with the city at that point, but I knew I loved it from the minute I saw it.
I kind of have like the same thoughts, like because obviously like I live like 45 minutes away from the city, but when I lived in res, and just the difference, right? Like living in a town and living in a city, and then when COVID hit, obviously I had to come back home in March, and I've been here ever since. But like just the difference, like obviously freedom changes, but being in the city, you feel like you can do anything, you can go anywhere. And then when you kind of go back home, like has it been hard adjusting going back home, or are you someone that realizes I like being in a suburban area?
No, I love my house and I love the area I grew up in. Like I love just that very small town feeling. I honestly hated living in the city. It made my mental health go down the drain. And I think that was not a huge factor, but kind of a factor in the decision to transfer. You know, like I wanted to see my mom. I wanted home cooked meals. I didn't want to feel anxious all the time. Sometimes my roommates would go home and I would be all alone in my apartment, or like it's called Pittman Hall, obviously. It's like a little apartment style building, but I felt so alone, and it felt very like eye-opening because I thought for so long that's what I wanted in life, was to live in a city, be this big girl boss, not worry about anything, conquer the world. And then I got there and I realized, oh shit, this might not be for me. The transition was kind of hard coming back home after COVID. I mean, literally, my dad drove up through the night, crossed the border. We crossed the border 3 hours before Canada shut down its border.
Really?
It was like a very like holy shit moment. We did that. And coming home, I was so excited. Obviously, I haven't seen my boyfriend in a few months, like ever since Christmas break. And this was in March. And I was excited to see my family. I was excited to not have to do my laundry for a little bit. I was excited to not have to cook my own dinners. But now that I'm realizing that I'm home, I have adopted so many positive and negative habits out of it. So some positives are like I'm able to take care of myself, and I know myself way better than I did when I first moved to Toronto. But some of the negatives are like, I think I posted, but I literally don't know what I'm going to do without my mom. And it sounds like, oh, Alyssa, boohoo, like everyone has to do it. You don't understand. Like, I am so scared. And I move into my new apartment in like 3 or 4 months. And that's going to be at that, like, even scary. Like, this is my second time moving out, technically, and I'm still scared. But being home has been such a blessing. My grandma got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer while I was here. And yeah, while that sucks, I'm so glad that I got to be home. I mean, without COVID, I would probably be in Toronto having to have that busy lifestyle. And now I'm able to really appreciate the things that are around me at the time, you know, that's here. So, I mean, there's a lot of positives and negatives, I think. But right now I'm kind of leaning more towards like the laid back type of lifestyle. Not really a big city type of girl. Well, ask me in 5 years and we'll have to catch up. But right now I'm really content where I am.
Yeah. That was one of the main things I was thinking, like the difference, like I can just go home during a weekend if I'm missing my mom. Like international students don't have that same opportunity. So it's definitely tough. All right. So to end off the show, we're going to play our third edition of Guest Trivia.
Yeah. Holden
was our first. I believe he got 2 answers
right. Yeah, I got
right.
2 out of 5.
Joe got 3. And now we'll see what Alyssa could do. Can she break Joe's record?
I'm so nervous. Okay.
All right, and you just kick us off with the first question.
Okay, we're going to start off kind of easy. From what I've heard, you're a Washington Capitals fan, correct?
Sadly, yeah.
Not really. When did they win the Stanley Cup? What year?
2018.
All right, that's one.
1 for 1 right off the bat.
Easy.
Yeah. Was that big? Like, were you a big Washington fan before they won, or was it when they won?
I've always been a Caps fan because their AHL affiliate team is the Hershey Bears, and I grew up watching them. And you know what's crazy is one of their players, he went through the Bears program and then was on the Capitals. He is my brother's coach now.
Oh, wow.
So like a full circle moment. But yeah, so I've always kind of watched the Capitals just because I was a fan of the Bears. But yeah.
Cool. That's cool. All right. Well, for the second question, we're going to go to... We know you like Disney TV shows and movies, so we have 1 for each. But with the movies, I'm going to describe one of the movies to you in a really awful way, and you have to guess the movie.
Okay.
All right. So, after losing his father, a boy joins a hippie group and becomes a vegan. What Disney movie is that? I can repeat it if you want me to.
he becomes a vegan. I've never heard. Okay,
That's probably like the least important part. But yeah, after losing his father,
well,
a boy
all of
joins
them
a
lose
hippie
their
group.
all of them lose their parents. They join a
Do
hidden
they?
group.
Not necessarily.
Okay, well, I haven't watched the
I
Cinderella type
need
movies,
like
so.
I need like one more hint. That's gonna help me.
Okay, Uncle, not good.
That gives it away.
Yeah.
I think.
Uncle?
Yeah.
Oh, Nemo.
Dude,
No.
That's okay. That was what we were originally going to do, but the description was pretty inappropriate, so we
Very
went with
inappropriate.
the answer is Lion King.
Stop it.
Loses
I
his
knew
dad.
that.
Evil uncle.
Yeah.
Used to
Joins a hippie
scare
group.
me.
Yeah, that movie was whack.
All right,
I
third
love
question.
Lion
I will
King.
be very, very surprised if you get this one. You are a Florida Gator now, so I was gonna ask, name 2 players from the 2008 Florida Gators football team.
Literally leave me alone.
This is one of the greatest football teams ever.
This is like the one that people talk
maybe
about.
the greatest.
No, I'm literally not gonna know. I don't know. I only just
Okay,
recently
I
started
can give you
following.
2 hints. I'll give you a hint. So,
Is Team
You gotta look at
Tim
the screen,
Tebow
though.
one?
Tebow was one.
yeah, okay, there you go.
Can I name?
one.
Okay, I knew Tim Tebow because they have a statue of him,
Yeah,
right in the front of the stadium. So I did know Tim Tebow. So that's one. Okay, give me another hint. Someone give me a hint. I feel
There's
embarrassed that
one
I'm not
where
gonna know this.
when you find out, I feel like you're gonna be very surprised that he was
Yeah.
on this team. Very well-known player today.
Yeah, and there are a couple players that have gotten into some legal trouble. I'll leave it at that. I know you know this
wait.
person because you talked to me about it when you saw. I don't want to say
Wait.
a word, but yeah,
When did we talk about this?
when it came out, I'll just say there's a little documentary.
Oh, nah. He didn't go there. Aaron Hernandez.
Aaron
Boom,
Hernandez.
there you go. That's the second player.
So that's 2 out of
I
3.
didn't realize he went to UF. Okay.
Yeah, they had a.
That's not actually the player I was talking about. Cam Newton was on that team.
Oh, I didn't know that either. Okay.
Yeah,
And
but
there's
that
other
team,
players
go.
like
You
that
have-
team had some whack players on
yeah,
it.
Percy Harvin, the Pounceys,
Oh wow, yeah, they were
Joe
stacked.
Hayden, Brandon Spike. A lot
When
of
you
NFL
said
players.
when you said controversial person, I was like, Antonio Brown wasn't on the UF.
Janoris Jenkins before he had to transfer because of legal trouble.
Yeah, they were.
There we go.
They were a mess.
They
but
won,
were really
right?
good. They won the national
Yeah.
championship. Yeah. Urban Meyer was the coach. Like it was stacked.
Yeah,
They were stacked
holy.
up.
Well,
All
there
right,
you
so you're
go.
2 for 3. You're
The more
already
you
at a
know.
good start.
The more you
Yeah.
know.
For the third question, I know, or fourth question, you've become a Justin Bieber fan of late because of his new album, and I know you're a country
Yes.
fan. So, which country duo did Justin Bieber link up with to make 10,000 Hours?
Dan and Shay.
Right off the bat.
Love
Janelle.
them.
3
Okay.
for
Love them.
4.
That ties the record.
Yeah. If she
Get
can
this
get this
one.
last one right, she will be the On the Wild trivia
I'm killing it.
leader.
I'm killing it.
Champion?
I guess.
As of now, you'd be
Leader.
the champion. Yeah. I want to know though, why did you not like Justin Bieber before that? Because I know a lot of girls of our demographic, or not our
Okay,
demographic,
well,
but his.
listen. I wanted to be like one of those girls. I'm not like other girls. Like, that's how I wanted to be. So, One Direction, Justin Bieber, 5 Seconds Summer, nothing to do with them. I
Nothing.
did not want to like them. And right now I'm going through a Taylor Swift phase. Justin Bieber phase. I'm going through a Harry Styles phase, like all the things that I should have liked before. But now I'm starting to really love them. But I love Justin Bieber now.
Would you-
love him? Haley Bieber.
Would you make fun of people that like Justin Bieber? Like back then?
I would just be like, "Oh, that's so lame. Like everyone likes them." Da 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 da.
I used to be like that with
meanwhile, like,
Oh, really?
yeah, yeah.
I feel like you would have bullied me in elementary school. Because me and one of my best friends
Riley,
like Justin
I
Bieber.
bully you now. I literally
true.
bully you now. No, yeah, like I grew up, like, my dad loves heavy metal, so my first concert was Iron Maiden. I don't know if you guys know Iron Maiden, and literally, like, I grew up on that, like, rock, heavy metal, so when I would go to school, like, that would be my, like fun fact about myself. They'd be like, 2 truths, a lie. Okay, been to Iron Maiden twice, like this. So that was like my little thing. And then I would like be mean to people who like Justin Bieber. But now I would be mean to myself now. So
we both grew up on rock too, because like I know I did. Like I listened to Linkin Park when I was in the car with my dad.
Up to a certain point.
Yeah, like
my dad listens to like 80s rock, I guess.
Like our initial music taste was because of our parents, and then once we grew up a bit,
I feel like that's with everybody though.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
Yeah. Final question. This one, I think it could either be really easy or really hard. It depends on if you watch the show. How many days of summer vacation do Phineas and Ferb get?
104 days of summer vacation.
And
that is it.
Wow.
I know I'm right, and I just killed your trivia.
Wow.
You did.
I'm
surprised you didn't get 5. I was expecting you not to get the Florida one, but you got that.
Yeah. Holy. Wow.
Well, okay, you guys helped. So I guess what 3.5 out of 5 I could get.
We'll give you the 4.
That's
We there were some tough ones before, so we'll give it to you.
Tough.
But one thing about Phineas and Ferb, I remember being so pissed as a kid, being like, "Why did you get 104 days? This is ridiculous."
3.5 months.
Yeah, bro.
Now there's no.
Have you guys heard the Phineas and Ferb theory?
Oh yeah, I don't remember it, but it's dark.
It's dark. Have you heard it, Alyssa?
I think so. Like how each character portrays like a certain thing.
I did hear about that, but that wasn't the one I was talking about. Is Phineas and Ferb not actually being alive, so that they had, I guess, they had an accident.
I heard that too.
And they passed away, and then every time Candace tries to get them in trouble to the mom, and the mom's always like, "No one's there." Is it because they're not actually there, and she's just seeing that, and that's how she copes with them being gone?
I saw that on Instagram, like a comment.
You know what? Like that reminds me of like Winnie the Pooh, how each character is supposed to represent like a different thing in mental health.
Oh yeah,
have you heard that?
Yeah.
So Disney's on crack, but
yeah, they're doing
love them.
So
love
many subliminal messages with Disney.
Yeah,
movies
didn't Mickey Mouse give his shirt to Winnie the Pooh because he has like a red. Or he has like a matching shirt. Like he gave his shirt and he has the shorts and Winnie the Pooh has the shirt or something like that.
I don't know.
Something crazy. Disney's always doing stuff like that. Like Toy Story has like a lot of like little things in it that are kind of creepy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm blown away that you got 4 out of 5. She just set a new standard. She just set the bar for the On the Wild trivia.
Oh gosh. Hopefully your next guest doesn't get an easy one. Give them a hard one too.
We'll make it... Well, I feel like we'll kind of base it off of this.
I think we know who our next guest is going to be, and I have a question in mind for the hardest question.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Wild for episode 10. Is there anything you want to plug or say to the audience before we let you go?
Yeah, let me plug myself. Look me up on YouTube, Alyssa Morrison. My Instagram's _Liss Morrison. My Twitter's Alyssa H Morrison. TikTok is Spicy Wasian, and that's kind of all. If you want to follow me, go ahead and follow me. I'd love to make new friends. Thank you guys so much for having me on the podcast. I had so much fun, and I can't wait till our next little FaceTime call together. But thank you so much.
Yeah, we're gonna link Alyssa's social media and her YouTube down below in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see y'all next week. Take it easy.
Stay wild.
Peace.
Bye.